I have some disappointing but not really surprising news. I'm going to be going through a few things here, and I may be rambling and jumping from place to place. So if the video gets a little long, I'm sorry about that. Try to bear with it. But the thing that I wanted to share with you all is that Alita, Battle Angel, and Rosa Salazar, the whole movie and the whole cast were once again snubbed from an award show. Not really like I said, it's not a surprise, and I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's not a huge deal because I guess as long as we get our movies, our sequels, our trilogies, that's all that really matters. It's just disappointing. It's it's angry, not really angry. What's the word I'm looking for? It does bother me, yeah, because um, uh, if you really appreciate the movie as most of us fans do, and we see the beauty in it, and we see how hard that Rosa Salazar put her, or how hard she worked, and how much of her heart she put into the role, and how much it meant to her. You kind of you want to see that rewarded, and actually not just Rosa, but the the love can be felt throughout the movie. You know that Jim Cameron cared, even though it was really a Robert Rodriguez movie. He just he turned Robert Rodriguez loose on it. But you can see how much each person who worked on the movie actually cared about it. So it's disappointing when you don't see their efforts rewarded. But I guess the sequel will be the best reward of all. So the bottom line will still always be buy those Blu-rays. That's the bottom line. There are some things though that I need to discuss, and they are going to get into um, they're going to get into Disney. I can't help but have to talk about Disney here. Disney is becoming, not even becoming, Disney is too big. Disney is too powerful. And I've been saying it for months, so it's really nothing new to anyone who's been listening. But this is just another example of where you can see Disney's influence and how they need to be scaled back for the good of the industry. So, under the category for movie of 2019, 5 out of 8 of those movies belong to Disney. And I mean, if that doesn't give you pause, if to, I feel like if that doesn't read to you like the canary in the coal mine for the film industry, I don't know what does. I'm going to go to the next category here, not the drama movie. I'm going to go to the actress or action movie as well. Okay, but under male star, you see that there Christoph Waltz is not there. Mahershala Ali, nobody is no male member of the Elita Bella Angel cast is there. I wouldn't expect Hugo to get anything, but no offense. If Kean Johnson ever watches this video, no offense, bro. All right, I personally like you in that role. But let's just look at a few of these names here. We had Chris Hemsworth, I mean, and Samuel L. Jackson, Tom Holland, Robert Downey Jr., and so that's 4 MCU roles in a category that includes 8. Was that 4? Yeah, and that includes 8 men. 4 of those come from the MCU Disney movies. Oh no, 5 come from Disney movies because you have Will Smith from Aladdin there. So the only outsiders would be Adam Sandler and Dwayne Johnson and Keanu Reeves. Sorry, I hope I didn't just forecast his future, but I wouldn't want to see him go to Disney as well because they need to be trimmed back for the good of the industry. No hate, I'm not hating. I'm not here. First of all, I'm not here to protest Disney. Really, I'm saying people need to spend their money elsewhere. Not just saying that you don't need to, that you need to hate Disney or you can't like Disney. If you like Disney, that's you. All right, you have the right to like whatever you want to like. What I'm saying is, for the good of the industry, you must at least spend your money somewhere else. And also, but Disney does need to be scaled back because they're becoming too influential, too powerful. Over the movie theaters, they were able to demand so many screens, the best screen times, and it's just going to get ugly. And it's not going to be. the future is looking bleak right now. Under the female category, Rosa Salazar is not there, unfortunately. It's very, very disappointing. But at least we know how good she is. At least we love her, and we're going to show her our appreciation on September 9th. So if you haven't got your postcards in the mail, please do so, and or your letter, whatever you want to write to Rosa. And if you don't make it there, if you don't get it there by the 9th, at least you could just put in your letter or on your postcard that it is for 9/9 Alita Appreciation Day, and whatever, or at least just send it, and she'll still get it anyway and still be happy that you send it to her. So let's we'll be Alita's, or we'll be Rosa. She is Alita. We'll be Rosa Alita's reward. So we have under the female category. Let's see how many of these actresses come from a Disney movie. We have, Tessa Thompson. She was in Men in Black, so I guess she doesn't count, even though she was Valkyrie in Avengers. You have Scarlett Johansson, Brie Larson, Sophie Turner, and Zendaya. So that's 4 out of 8. So far, I've read about 3 categories here, and let me see, 4 was it 8, 13 of those out of those 3 categories were from MCU movies. Moving on here, I think may read action movie, no drama movie. Okay, never. We'll skip past that. We got some other things that I want to talk about as well. There was let's see which order I'm going to go in. I'm going to start here since we're talking about Rosa Salazar. Recently, there was an article put out by the LA, what was it called? The LA Daily News. It was titled Latino U.S. representative slams Hollywood lack of Latinos in film, citing a new USC study. And this was shared on Twitter. If you follow Alita Army on Twitter, you can get some of these news updates. Or sometimes we'll just, post it under our regular normal accounts or whatever. But so this was the screenshot that I took. And I'll read you some of these things from here. Sorry, I'm doing this on my phone, so it really sucks. Try to bear with it. I'll just read you some of the important things here. It says, a new study from USC's Annenberg Inclusion Initiative confirms what Latino talent in Hollywood has been saying for years. Hispanics are extremely underrepresented, both on screen and in creative positions in major movies. And that's got Latinos in Congress slamming the industry for not treating the issue as a priority. Why did it zoom in like that? Latinos in film, erasure on screen and behind camera across 1,200 popular movies, which USC, I think that's University of South Carolina. I think that's what it is. Sorry, I can't read the article right now. Conducted in partnership with the National Association of Latino Independent Producers and Wise Entertainment, found that in the top 100 in the 100 top grossing films of each year from 2007 to 2018, a mere 4.5% of all speaking characters were Latino. That's in the top 100 grossing films of each year. Behind the scenes, only 4% of the 1,200 films studied were Latino directed, and the majority of those directors, 71%, came from outside of the country. Producers had an even lower percentage, that's 3%, and Latinas were even more severely underrepresented, just 1 out of every 1,335 in total, and only 19 producers on the 1,200 movies. The report further revealed that only 3% of lead and co-lead actors were Latino across the films that were studied. These did not include the 2019 releases such as Miss Bala and Dora and the Lost City of Gold, both featuring Latina leads and largely Latinx casts, but directed by non-Latinos. Robert Rodriguez's Alita Battle Angel starring Rosa Salazar, and I'm just going to stop right there because the rest of it is kind of just goes on. But this is why Alita is very important again, because it it for representation, it really nails two key points that these people were trying to bring up, and that is lack of representation in front of the camera and behind the camera. In front of the camera, you have Rosa Salazar, and behind the camera, you have Robert Rodriguez. And for these award shows, so far, Alita has been snubbed by the MTV Awards, Teen Choice Awards, now People's Choice Awards. Hopefully, the Oscars don't make that same mistake. The Academy Awards. Hopefully, they don't make that same mistake. But this year so far, Rosa Salazar has only been nominated for an Imagen Award. I pronounced it correctly this time, I think. Um, yeah, she was only nominated for an Imagen Award, and that is for. I'm sorry, I don't have the. It's for Latino people, Latino. I don't want to offend people by the way I say these things, so I'm sorry if I get it wrong. Um, I know Latina is female, Latino is male, but some people get offended. So sorry if I offended anybody. But at least, that's one thing. That's better. She didn't win. She lost to Isabella Moner, who is Dora in the Lost City of Gold. She was the main character, Dora. And so that's not, from what I saw in Dora, she's a good actress. I would say great. I didn't see her role that she was nominated for, but she was good in Dora. I liked her, and I can't be mad about that. So congratulations to her again, and hopefully Rosa will get her nomination, not just a nomination, but an award in recognition for her role in Alita eventually. So here was another thing that I wanted to bring up. This was from last night, maybe a day ago, and it's by Slash Film. And this is where things can get kind of spicy. Don't take offense to this. This is not me going after Disney fans. I'm just sharing with you what this writer of this website had, his observations, his opinions, and I'm going to give you some of mine, some of my comments on his opinions. And we're going from there. So Disney fandom has become an entrenched and powerful tribe. How did we get here? Once again, these are not my words, but I can definitely agree with a lot of what he says, if not most of it. Welcome to the Soapbox, the space where we get loud, feisty, political. Okay, so he's going to say a few things there, but okay. We're going to start here at It's Natural. It's natural to seek out people who share our interests. Those are people with whom we are most likely to get along. But after a point, tribalization becomes a negative force when supporting your tribe comes at the expense of other tribes. We see that everywhere, from fandom to global politics, and this year has seen a dramatic and disturbing spike in pop culture tribalization, largely centered around the company that needs it least. And this is the thing, this is the thing about the people who defend the MCU, and not just the MCU, but Disney. Of all the corporations and of all the things that you want to defend, Disney is not something that actually needs you to defend it. Disney is a beast that has gotten so big that it is just, no matter, I don't want to say it's unstoppable, but if you just dropped the MCU and left it, it wouldn't affect it at all. It wouldn't hurt Disney at all. Disney wouldn't feel it. If an entire, let's say, I think, what was it? I don't know about Solo. Solo might have been a situation where it wasn't just the so-called Phantom Menace boycotting the movie, but the whole general audience deciding that they didn't want to see that movie, and that movie did poorly. But even though Solo bombed, they still made money hand over fist with The Last Jedi, and they're probably going to make $1 billion with Episode 9. They made billions of dollars with the MCU. When a movie bombs for Disney, it's like just a stub in their toe. If they even feel it that much. But I'm sorry, I'm getting off track here. I got to keep reading it. But Disney definitely does not need the support, this support that it's getting. Fandom rivalries have existed forever. Star Wars versus Star Trek has more or less come to an equilibrium, with most fans admitting that they like both to some degree. The Marvel DC rivalry has been around for decades, though it's become much more visibly unpleasant since the birth of the Marvel and DC cinematic universes. Now that superheroes are dominant, and I guess it's only becoming more unpleasant because once again, Disney is in a situation where they can control so much of the access media, and when these reviews come out for DC movies, you can see how some of them may not be getting the same treatment that the Marvel movies are getting, and that will make the DC fans feel a certain type of way, a way that's completely understandable, because the same thing happened to Alita Battle Angel. There was an obvious bias against the movie, so I can understand how there would be some unpleasantry between the Marvel and DC fans. Now that superheroes are a dominant global cultural force and not a niche for enthusiasts, the scale and fury of these rivalries has escalated to at times horrifying levels. I wouldn't say they were horrifying, but curiously, neither of those two ongoing death matches has been the source of 2019's worst fan behavior. Rather, the most perplexing fan activity has centered around three Disney-centric issues, not content, but box office, branding, and corporate warfare. I was going to say welfare, but the first feud, and this is where Alita comes in. The first feud was the smallest. We wouldn't know it was the smallest by the by the way we keep seeing these people. Forget it. I'm going to keep moving. Emerging around the similarly timed releases of the two female-led sci-fi actioners. It saw Marvel fans banding around Captain Marvel and another amorphous group supporting Alita Battle Angel as an alternative. Irrespective of the relative merits of the two films, there was a lot of bad faith thinking involved. The larger fan battle concerned the ideologies of each film, specifically the fact that internet misogynists hated Captain Marvel's feminist story beats, while Alita didn't really address gender at all. Genuine Alita fans were swept up in the mix too, but many key campaign drivers had crusaded against Captain Marvel from its announcement. Now that both films are out on home video, the fight continues to this day. Here's a situation where I would like to defend Alita fans in this situation. I don't believe that most of them are misogynists, or I don't believe that most of the people who were campaigning against Captain Marvel were misogynists. I do believe they're just people who are tired of the propaganda in movies and tired of, well, the point is they had reasons other than gender or other than sex to protest Captain Marvel, and but the problem happened because they decided to pick Alita, right, and use Alita as a protest, use Alita as the alternative. Some of those people really enjoyed Alita. Some of them did not. Jack Posobiec, I don't trust him at all. He did not enjoy Alita. He saw the movie on February, I believe it was February 14th. No, it wasn't the 14th. Was it the 24th? I think it was the 24th. That's what it was. February 24th. And he said in his review that it was a boring mess. That's what he said. It was a boring mess. And on March 3rd, March 4th, that's when he began to tweet about the Alita Challenge. Now, the Alita Challenge wasn't started by him. It was started by Gen X Strikes Back. But March 4th, Jack Posobiec picked it up, and he began to tweet out if you want to see a movie with a strong female protagonist, don't see Captain Marvel, see Alita Battle Angel. And I would show you those screenshots right now, but I don't feel like trying to dig them up. So after he already did not say he did not like the movie, he began campaigning from March 4th against Captain Marvel using Alita. And it wasn't until March 9th when he saw the movie a second time that he said that Alita is not a bad movie. It's a good movie. It's just complex and unique. But after you've already been using Alita for days to campaign against Captain Marvel, how can I even really truly believe your opinion about that? And so from that point on, he continues to tweet, and all of his tweets about Alita concern political reasons, political motivations, and comparisons to Captain Marvel and so on. Now, I don't know how many of his followers think the same way, but I don't think it's unreasonable to believe that a lot of those people who were involved in this rivalry felt the same way he did, and that Alita was just a an alternative to Captain Marvel. And the only time these people will ever bring up Captain Marvel, the only time they will ever bring up Alita is when they complain about something else and somebody says you're sexist and they say, no, I'm not, I like Alita. That's what I've been noticing. Okay, those are my observations. I would like to defend all of the Alita fans who were in that protest, in that movement against Captain Marvel, even though to me the Alita Challenge was always supposed to be about supporting Alita. But anyway, I would like to defend all of these fans. But what happened was that between about, I would say May and July, there was zero talk about Captain Marvel, especially from Alita Army. There was zero talk about it. We had moved on from it. It got old, it got stale, and it wasn't helping. It was holding us back. We know that from experience. It was holding us back. But as soon as the home videos went on sale, not the digitals, but the hard copies, the Blu-rays, on July 23rd, then you had these people come out again and start to make comparisons to Captain Marvel, start to put out videos and pictures on Twitter, doing these kind of gotcha moments and making themselves look completely stupid. And of course, I butted heads with a few of these people, and they could think of me what they want to think, but whatever. I'm moving on past that. And after they did that, the media jumped onto it and dragged Alita Army into that. And we had stayed out of it, but now we were in the media, we were in the news as having something to do with this Captain Marvel versus Alita rivalry coming back in July, which we did not have anything to do with. So I can't, and this was our reputation that they're putting on the line, and all the good work that we did, and all the good faith that we built up, and they put that on the line for what? Why did they have to do it? There was no reason to do it. And there was nothing to gain from it, only things to lose. So they did that, and I can't defend them anymore. So from now on, when the media comes out and says things like this and placing the blame on Alita fans for continuing this Captain Marvel versus Alita rivalry, I can't defend them. And even though, some Captain Marvel fans out there will probably still rag on Alita, but, I think a lot of that can also be pinned on Alita fans once again bringing up that rivalry when they didn't have to. I'm going to continue reading a little bit more here, and then I'm going to be finished. So hang in there. Sorry. All right. So the second feud was the biggest, most publicized, and probably the dumbest. The all-time worldwide box office title is a coveted one, and for over 20 years, it's been held by one James Cameron film, Titanic or another, Avatar. Hence, it was inevitable that Avengers Endgame, the temporary conclusion to a run of over 20 blockbusters, would make a bid for first place. That bid ended up being more cynical than imagined, with Disney re-upping Endgame's theater count months after release as its worldwide growth began to close in on avatars. It was clear it was a clear implicit indication for fans to push towards the number one spot, and fans took up the mantle in great numbers, shelling out for repeat screenings solely to push the box office numbers up. Ultimately, the ploy was successful. Crucially, both Marvel Alita and Avengers Avatar are box office battles with absolutely zero actual consequences for the company profiting from the films. Since Disney's acquisition of 21st Century Fox, both Alita and Avatar are Disney properties. I would say the first the first Alita movie is being distributed by Disney. So technically, that movie you could say is a Disney property. But even though Cameron still owns the rights to Alita. So just as the company's acquisition of Marvel made the Avengers and thus Captain Marvel, what just happened here? All right, stupid ads. Thus Avengers and thus Captain Marvel, a Disney property. Only two results emerged from either battle being quote won. Fans gained a misplaced sense of victory, and Disney makes money. The Disney-enabled fan-driven push to drive Endgame over Avatar was a breathtaking artificial rivalry. Ultimately, it's bad for consumers as it will be for art. And that brings us again to the main point of this whole entire video. This support that Disney is getting, this unmitigated control and influence that they have over the movie industry, the film industry, the access media, all of, so pretty much name it. And not to mention that now they're going to be putting Disney stores inside of Targets. I don't know if you knew that or not, but Disney is making a deal with Target, and they're going to have Disney stores, little mini Disney stores inside of Targets near the toy section, near the toy aisle, and they're going to have specially trained employees or people who will be in that, who will work in that area. And this is going to be near the toy section, of course. So it's getting to the point where Disney is going to have a hand in just about everything that you do. It's getting that weird. And all right, let's continue reading here. But that point again, this is going to be very bad for the film industry. It's going to be bad for art, bad for the film industry, bad for creativity, bad for originality, bad for risk takers, and all of that. Let's go down here. What happened? Okay, who benefits from Avengers Endgame topping the all-time charts? For fans, it's about the community winning, but I'm going to put winning in quotation marks. Forgot to point that out. But those fans will objectively be financially worse off for having bought more tickets solely to give it more of their money. For movies on the bubble, like Alita, which really needed that money, that's the sad thing. Alita really needed the money. Disney didn't. Alita needed it, which only really performed well internationally. And like the countless independent films struggling to compete with Disney's monoliths, a higher box office can grant a film a sequel or its creators more work. In those cases, fans get more entertainment out of the deal. But after a certain point, a point in game pass within days, the tangible benefit to fans drop away. Once a movie hits the pure profit tipping point, only the studio benefits. For fans, it is purely a dick measuring contest. And I believe that was, that's pretty much the main point. Alita, a movie with important Latin representation in front of the camera, behind the camera. Really a movie that tried to do something different, tried to be bold with the creative choices that they made to give Alita large eyes. Yes, there's an in-movie explanation, but it's really a creative choice. A movie that you could feel passion being put into, love being put into. Movies that Hollywood needs more of did not get the money that it needed from the audience. But that audience decided to spend their money on trying to beat a movie that was Avatar that was arguably more. No, I'm not even going to go there. Okay, I'm not even going to go there. But movies like Alita needed that money. So if people continue to feed Disney and not help these other movies out, help these, as this article said, these countless other independent films as well, what do you think are going to happen to them? They're going to die and they're going to go away. These categories that you see from the People's Choice Awards, where you have 4 or 5 out of 8 nominations going to Disney, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get to the point where 6 or 7 out of 8 nominations belong to Disney. Who's going to watch anything then? If you might as well just stop having award shows. So that's the end of it. I'm sorry for making this go on long and rambling and all this and that, but I had to get this off my chest, and I spoke my opinion. I believe I spoke it politely and non-offensively, and this is just the way I feel. I'm just being honest, and I don't think anybody should try to claim that this is me, uh, attacking Disney or anything like that. I'm just stating the facts that everybody should be able to see. Okay, this is not good for the industry, and something should be done. And actually, I forgot I had one more thing I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a meme that I made a little while ago, and I think it's still relevant now. All right, here's the meme. It has Christoph Waltz and Rosa Salazar's characters in it. That is Dr. Ito and Alita, respectively. And Dr. Ito says, "Oh, look, another award show." And Alita says, "Really? Did we get a nomination this time?" And he looks at her like, like, "What do you think?" Really? And Alita looks down very disappointedly and says, "Oh." So I was hoping that this meme would age poorly. I was hoping it would, but it doesn't look like it will so far. It doesn't look like it's going to age poorly.